Using a ratchet strap. They are now 52.5. 52.5, so that is 1/2 inch. You want, they said in the instructions, 3/8 to 1/2 inch. I'm going with the 1/2 inch. And I have my square tubing, which I have cleaned, where I'm gonna weld. I still gotta do that. And I'm gonna weld them, I guess, right here, I believe, is where it showed in the instructions. Just tack it in so it won't, so it'll hold it in. So the square tubing is tacked in, both sides and both sides. And I gotta, how many times do you think I'm gonna shin myself on that bar sticking out? I could cut it, I may cut it, we'll see. I'll cut it after the first time I hit it. I'll put it that. How's that? Okay, so we're good. We can take the strap off. Now, one thing that I am going to try to do, and I don't know if I'm going to be successful. It fit under there, obviously. I just had it under there, and I think it'd be fine just like it is. But if you remember, this one was right here, and this one was right here. So in other words, the whole frame was that way in the middle, not in the front or in the back. And that's because, I don't know that you'll be able to see, but that one is pretty straight, but just slightly bowed out. This one is just maybe a smidgen bowed in right now, like 1/8 of an inch in. So if I can, I'm gonna try to like hook something up here and like pull it over here and maybe over here so that it stays square, and then weld everything in, and hopefully that side will stay in a little more. There it is. And I used a straight edge, and now they are exactly the same. They both come in just slightly in the middle. Let's show you here. Hopefully you'll be able to see. It just comes in just slightly in the middle, and they are both at the same, roughly the same amount. So super happy with the idea, and I'll be even happier if it works. All right, I think we're about ready to start fitting the lower plates. Whew, and of course, it's like the hottest day of the year so far. I am already soaked, and I haven't hardly started. It's that sticky. Oh man. All right, enough of that. I have prepped the lower panels, removed all the mill slag, used the flap wheel on them, got welding primer on them. The bracing is all ready. I've got it on jack stands. I'm hoping that's high enough. I mean, I can make it work, but let's see. Push the body out of the way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's where we're at. I have a level crossed here. You can see it's on the right mark there. Oh no, it's not level. All right, well, let's look up front. The key here is they have to be the same. Now, I can't really measure this on top. There's brace in the way and all that. So let's look at it, having the level here where the mounts will go, and oh wait, it's right on the same line. So point being, frame is level. I'm going to say about 1/4 inch, and that's with the straps and that bar going across the middle. That bar going across the middle actually strengthens it up more than it was. It was, you know, they have some flex from the factory. The big problem, in my opinion, is these C channels. There's where your weakness is, and they will bow out. And obviously it does have some twist, and this Hellwig kit will make a huge difference on that, especially with that those inner body mounts. So, okay, I'm rambling. I don't remember if I showed you this before. Comes with printouts of the instructions, but you can get the PDF online, and those pictures are a lot easier to see the details of. These are the same pictures, so check out the PDF. All right, you do need to make sure that these are straight. This is your best friend. Start from an edge. Use a straight edge, and if it like goes like that, start from the edge, work in where you meet in the middle. If you start in the middle, you're just going to stretch the metal. So start on the edge, and it really is pretty simple. Slide it on there and move the direction you need to move it, and just take little tiny bites. And I already messed up. There's a gap there because my little tack weld ain't supposed to be there. It's in the way. Alright, so I had to cut this off. That's the end you want to cut off if you can. And it looks like it should fit pretty good, except for right here is hitting see where I made the line? It's really close, but I need to cut that back just a little bit so it'll go, it's catching, you know what? One thing to be aware of, this slag, that can catch it. So I gotta trim just a little more. All right, hopefully you can see all right. I have got rid of the OSPO and rust encapsulator, and so it's down to metal where I'm gonna weld, and then hit it with weld through primer, top and bottom, over here. And I'd already done this with this. Now, I ended up trimming a fair bit off of this end, a little more than just that sliver, and I made some odd cuts here and here in order to get them to fit, to get it to fit like so. Now, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I tried not to overdo it, but these pliers, locking pliers, are nice. They fit in there well. And there we go. Now this is my first one, so I anticipate that it is the longest one as far as time will take. And I cut a little bit too much off of that. It pulled away there a little bit, which is probably why that's away. So I need to readjust my clamps, but you get the idea. All right, I tacked it in. So those went pretty good. And I got over here and it was like horrible. Splattering everywhere. It's like, am I out of gas? No. And just so you know, on this back plate, that's all that's welded in there. And then I came over here, I got a little spot here, but you don't weld it in fully on the inside. You do that on the outside. But we should be able to take the clamps off and everything now, and go to the other side. Now, one thing I want to ask, I'm not showing me welding a lot of this. I showed some earlier, but do you want to see the welding? Do you want to see the sanding and all the prep, or do you want me to just show you what I did? You know, let me know in the comments, because I mean, I can do either. And one thing I do want to caution you on, you see this clamp was added to hold that over. Be very careful that you're not putting a lot of pressure on it, because that can cause that to bow in or out depending on where the pressure is. All right. 7 more to do. I actually thought I'd be done with the lower ones today, and I may be. I should be faster now that I've done one, but yeah, it is taking longer than I anticipated. So we're on the left side now. I already cut off that much, and what I find right here, the transition seems to be a good spot for judging that. Comes to here and then it starts dropping, and it's fully dropped there. And you can see, let me turn it around here. Right here is where it's hitting, and I've already cleaned anything up under here. So now I'm gonna remove that, and then it will be closer, and we may find another area that needs to be trimmed down, but that's the process. Got it clamped in, and I found a little oops. Well, not a little oops, but right there, that's what's just a little spot is messing me over. Otherwise, looks like we're good, and this is a little closer. It's still not, it's still out a little bit, but moving this should help it a little. All right, just wanted to show those dimes there before I sprayed over them. Be sure to cover those tack welds so they don't rust. So I have the front right plate, passenger side plate fitted. I'm looking pretty good. Getting a lot faster now. On the front plates, lower, you have this slit, and it talks about this being lower. Well, it is in fact lower on the inside here, but when back here it's touching, and then it starts pulling away here. So you got to pull this up, maybe with a clamp or something, to get this to touch. This was a little more challenging than I would have expected. I had clamped it and tried to use pressure. No, I hit it with clamps. It just knocked the clamps off. So I ended up putting it right here, and I hammered it like so, and you can see It goes up now, it bends up, and it actually fits. Greg here. Well, that's kind of close. Whose channel is that? Only they don't say Greg. All right, so I've been out here working for actually a little bit. A couple tips. Well, a tip and then a issue I ran into that I will show you. One, just prep all of your plates in advance. Just prep them all. Otherwise, it's just going to slow you down when you go to do it. Two, I showed you how I bent the front, and then I went and clamped it all in. And when I clamped it in, somehow it kind of straightened itself up, and I ended up having to cut that weld and that weld out, put a board up here under this corner, and just beat the snot out of it with a 3-pounder. I think this is a 3-pounder. Just beat the snot out of it right around here, and then a couple taps back here to bring that down. And now I hope you can see with the bright background that it's pretty much level. So now I will re-tack those in. Also, well, I should have brought the tripod. Well, that didn't work well. Okay, I'm going to show you how I am doing it. Okay, stop my music. Two things. Those two things last time. One, this rust encapsulator. So I put OSPO on first, neutralized it, and then I put rust encapsulator on it. It's a generic brand. So I had tested it before and it did well. That is really hard to get off when I'm sanding and stuff. So I'm actually really impressed. That's what I got inside the C-channels. Okay, what I do here, take this piece right here is what's going to line up with the C-channel bottom rail there, right here. And then all the way up front here. Okay, you can see it. So I slide that right there. I know that's where this goes. You may have to do some trimming, but that gives you the general spot. And then I take my Sharpie and I mark it right here, which I've marked. Now I'm going to cut just inside of that, and that's going to get me really close right off the bat. Another day. And I will say that these top back ones by far were the most challenging to get to fit. I ended up cutting on the front, or yeah, the front, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. And there's quite a bit. And then, so there's where my piece is. And then this here, I ended up, I cut like a 1/4 inch here also. And I shaped it, a lot of shaping to get this to fit. You'll use some clamps, and a 4-inch clamp will, that's big enough. However, it's the depth that's going to make the difference. That one is just barely enough. Now these welding clamps, of course, they work great. So I've got it, everything welder primed, and so I will tack that in, and I have triple checked for level. You should be good. Alright, so just to give you an idea here, this is the other side. So I cut 1 inch off total, and then this piece, you can see how it did look. I had to form it to get it to fit right, and that'll get this weld over, I think. And anyway, it's tacked in. It's a little high here compared to here, and I did not catch that. It won't hurt anything as far as performance goes, and no one will see it, so that's the good news. Now I'm going to start fitting this one on the other side. So I got this side, did an initial cut just over a 1/2 inch on this one, and this one is definitely shorter than the other side, or actually longer. I'm cutting a little less, and I got it down in, fully down. Now line these up to match the other side somewhat, and I've already started cutting this right here, basically using a flap wheel and 40 grit. Just start working it down and until you can lay it flat. And this time I'll make sure I get that all the way down. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I've marked, so all this is going to have to be round some, I'm quite sure. But what I'm doing is, this is where it's contacting right now. I marked it from there to there. You might be able to tell that's where the contact is now. I'm going to start there, use the flap wheel on it, flap disc, and grind it down. And then I'll place it back here, back in the spot, lay it down, see how it looks, mark the next spot, and you just keep going. It took me well over an hour. Now I'm slow, but it took me well over an hour to do it to do the whole fitting on that side. I got really lucky on the cut on this side, one cut, and it fit in, and now I'm just trying to dress this, so it'll be quicker potentially, depending on how fast I do that. Maybe if I quit talking, I could get the work done. I've done a couple more. So I did that one, put it on, and then it started hitting in here, so I spread it out to here, my mark, and now you can see it's actually hitting from here, still a good spot right here, all the way to here. And this is going to need a fair bit, basically to that line, to the back of that line. As you can see, getting close. This one's going a lot faster. The second one always does. Got it real close. Now, it's laying down flat here. It's laying down flat here without me touching it. All this is shaped nice. I have two issues. One, it's not wanting to go right up against that one. So I'm going to probably have to drill a hole and pull it back. The other thing is, very minor one here, is that there is a gap in the middle. So you can possibly see there. So I may want to bend this out a little more. It looks straight, but it wasn't quite. Okay, so let me address that issue and this issue. Cleaned up all the Sharpie marks, and I beveled the edge. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera that well, so that it'll fit better. So now I'm going to welder prime. Well, I got to clean this up a little bit. Weld primer both this again and that, and it should fit right in. Ooh, tight. Ah, it was 100. All right, it's down to 99. Good thing. I feel much better now. All right, this one is ready to weld. And I got a screwdriver to push that end in. That seems to be the one that, for whatever reason, doesn't want to set in as well as I'd like. There we go. Well, there. Push on the bottom. There we go, right there. That's what I'll do. Okay, and I also, well, the weld through primer was drying and everything, cut this one. And same thing. Try to cut on that side. Now this ended up with a big gap. For the life of me, I don't understand why. Apparently I must have, wow, I must have ground that down. Not realizing it. Okay. And then this is actually a pretty big gap here. Watch for that when you're doing it. Back top left, tacked in nicely, and yeah, I'm all right with that. That's pretty good. The front top right, it's in. I'm happy that it's in. So clamping this was a bear, and when you clamp it, this is actually up a little bit higher, and when you clamp it and weld it, it actually pulls this bottom up just a little bit and comes up here and then just gradually goes like so. So it actually looks pretty good. So I'm happy about that. And the gaps are gone. Yeah. Oh, and if you remember, I mentioned this was up a little more and I was kind of unhappy. It's up the same amount on this side, on this one. So yeah. Now one more to do. Oh, one plate left. 101. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna finish. All right, I gotta brag about this one a little. It's the last one, so of course I figured it out now. One cut, and it's in. Now, obviously, I have to trim it here and here. However, what I did on this one is I put it up here so that this was kind of where I wanted it. And I marked it on that end, which I have done on others, but I tended to put it down in the front and then mark it, so I end up short. I don't know how. Anywho, but that one went right in. So trim that, cut that back. Wow, I might be able to have this tacked in today, or I should say tacked in before I pass out from the heat. So what happens when the temperature is really high and the humidity is high? Yep, it's raining. Oh shoot. It's raining on the back of the frame. But the temperature is dropping. So in my test fitting, it wasn't up as high as this. It was actually way down in there. So what I did, I welded in a couple spacers, and yeah, they're weld through primered before and after, so they should be good. Now we'll put that on, clamp it, start tacking it in. Okay, she's tacked in, and I believe that is very similar heights between the two, which is what I was going for. So now everything's tacked in and we are ready to start the actual full weld process, which is going to take a long time, but I'm very happy with where I'm at now. And I should mention, it's tacked in. Make sure it's square, make sure it's level. because you can grind the tacks down a lot easier and you can grind full welds out. Oh, and you might be interested in time. I had read 6 to 8 hours. Well, maybe if you're a professional, you got a lift and you've done it before. It took me well over twice that to do this, and I haven't fully welded it either. So yeah, just to do this took me way more than 6 to 8 hours. I'd say probably 24 hours when you consider straightening the frame, you know, the making sure that the frame has level C-channel, putting in the extra body mounts, you know, lowering it, raising it, welding, shaping, all of that. I mean, yeah, I'd say that took me, now granted, first time, and I'm not a fabricator, so, you know, about, I'm gonna say 24 hours to do that. So yeah, it's it takes a while for DIY guys. Happy Independence Day. Well, for me it's July 4th. Yeah, it may be August before you get this video. So I've started the welding, and per the instructions, you need to skip around, that type of thing, weld for an inch, skip around, and they recommend you start from the center and work out. Now they show some skip welding and other techniques. I'm doing my own little thing where I welded some there, some there, some there, and I am gonna, you know, start from the center and work out like they recommended, and this should work. The couple things that I will point out. Oh wait, everything's perfect. I did everything perfect. No, I won't edit it out. I'll tell you. So this gap was just too big. It's just too big. If you can see down in there, and there's a sweat bee buzzing around. That gap was just way too big. I should have pushed it in just a little more. I think I may have to use one of the cutoff pieces in there as a filler. However, it is going well, and it's only 84 today, 66 humidity this morning. Alright, I cut some of the pieces to fit. They fit nice and tight. Just get that welded in and it'll take care of that gap. A couple other things. I keep forgetting to point out that I use my shop blower to cool them down a little bit. I give it a minute or so after I finish, then I'll blow some air on it. That was one. Oh, and I am using a brush between them, trying to keep it somewhat clean. It's been 2-3 hours, but I am almost done with the top part of this the center piece. But it does, I mean, it takes a long time. So I'm doing a weld, then I'll do the other side, then this side, then that side, then cool everything down till I can hold my hand on it, then doing it again, trying to keep them a little separated. Just patience, patience, patience. Don't quit laughing at my welds. It's been about 3 hours, and whoo, it's 91 now and super humid. Okay, now I've been going slow. So, you know, but that's the whole point. You got to go slow, letting it cool down to where I can hold my hand on it, no problem. Don't laugh at my welds. But I got the whole center section top welded in on both sides. And yes, I was using the black felt welding blanket thing to protect the ratchet straps. And okay, yeah, I'll have to do some grinding, but they are good welds. They look like solid welds, so pretty happy about that. And like I said, that's about 3 hours. So next I will start going like so and so and so and so. It'll actually be a little faster, I think, because I won't be in the same spot. I think that'd be the way to do it. Go an inch, inch. Well, what I do is an inch, inch, switch sides, come back, inch, inch, clean it, cool it, make sure I can touch it. And yes, I don't know, I may do the skip weld. You can do the skip weld as well, but the one question I have is they said it works best to start from the middle out. Can I not just do like I did with the tacks and just, you know, skip 6 inches plus like you do on a body panel when you're butt welding to control heat? I don't know. I would think that would work, but I'm following the instructions because I know that will work. So I had to flip it over. I mean, it's best if you can do it from both sides at the same time. However, I will tell you, flipping this over was, I mean, I did it obviously, but it is almost, not quite, 50 pounds more. So, and it's on the rails where you're flipping. So yeah, it was noticeable. And I have started welding. So let's see, did that first, second, third, and fourth, or something like that. Same on the other side. And it's just a lot easier to weld from the top than on laying on your back. So I flipped it. So an update, just skipping around. Let's see how I'm doing. I'm basically, you know, I'll do like here, 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 and here. That's what I did to start. And then I let everything cool down. Then I did here and here. And then I think I did this, let's see, this one and this one, I think. And then I cooled it down. And then I ended up jumping out here. I went 6 inches out. And I'm working my way in while I'm doing pieces here, just kind of spreading it out a little. And I am blowing it off with the leaf blower, the shop blower. And I'm just doing the same thing on both sides, taking my time as much as I can, being as impatient as I am. But and if you'd like to see, if you'd like me to actually record the welding, me dropping dimes, well, I'll have to practice to do that. But if you want to see me weld and stuff, let me know in the comments. And I almost forgot, okay, I cut it off when I went to flip it over just before that, because that was definitely going to be in the way. If you guessed when correctly, let me know in the comments. No, you'll just get to say you won, you were right. There's no actual prize. Sorry. So I got the center completely done. Jumping around, letting it cool as same time. You know, so I do a little here, I do here and here. And same thing on the other side. And I do like here and here and here. Let it cool. I used the leaf blower, the shop blower a little bit, nothing too extreme. You know, you can use a air compressor if you want. Now I will start going like here, 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 and here. Only back and forth as I do them, if that makes sense. So here, same on the other, here, same on the other, here, same on the other. And that gives me now a total of 12 welds between idle time of letting it cool down. And I think, I'm trying to do the center out, which is what they recommended, so I haven't done this yet. And I'm still debating if I'm gonna flip it over before I finish the bottom, because I got to here and here on the top side, but it's such a pain to flip this thing. I may end up just finishing the bottom. I guess we'll see. Hopefully this will show. The way I prefer to do the welding, so I'll start on the previous weld, then I will do, in this case, counterclockwise circles if I'm going right. That way I pull the puddle up, and I'm doing 6 loops. So 6 is how far I'm going by choice, and you got to speed up or slow down based upon your puddle. And that was all right. Not the best, actually. That's not the one. It's good, but I didn't get it at the top right there. I needed to carry more up. 12 more inches done. Yeah. Now I'm gonna, well, I actually gotta eat, but I'm waiting at least like 10 minutes between welds, and I am checking it to make sure that it is cool enough so I can easily have my hand on it, and I mean easily make sure it's cool. And then I'll do 12 more, and let's see, I should have measured, see how many inches of weld it takes. So I'm gonna guess about 33 feet of welding. It's very rough, but it's roughly 5 feet long. So you got 6, 3 on each side, plus your ones that go that direction. Web update. It's 95, 51% humidity. I have completed the center here, all the way to here, both sides, all the way here, and I've got pieces here, both sides, and pieces here, as well as that, welded completely. Now, I have actually slowed down quite a bit because I don't have as much space, and as when I was jumping around on here. I'm giving it a full like 15 minutes between. You gotta let it cool, otherwise you're gonna warp it. Okay, it's done. The completely welded on the bottom, and I took my time, big time, when I got towards those ends. I don't want any warpage, any shrinkage, and I had to add a little filler here, which I'll cut that off once it goes down on both sides. Alright, so now I'm going to try to flip this thing over before the storms hit, and it's already raining. So here's the top. Obviously I flipped it back over, and here's the top. I'd already done the middle section from like here over. Now I started coming out, and then I added that so I could do 4 on each panel, and it's coming along. Now one thing one thing on welding, you weld well when you're comfortable. So yeah, there's some really bad welds that were just where I was at weird angles. Be aware of that. And the other thing is, it occurred to me, I hope I'm going to be able to get these ratchet straps off, because I got to pull it tighter to then release. All right, they're not that tight, so hopefully that won't be an issue. Anyway, that's the status, and I'm really hoping to have these fully welded today. Okay, it's actually the next day. Over an hour later. So I'm telling you, when you get towards the end, don't rush it. Don't rush it. You're gonna be tempted to. Don't do it. Just walk away. All right, so one thing I want to show you real quick. I was at approximately 1,000 psi when I started. Look at that. I'm almost out. That was close. I filled in holes there. I filled that in. Got all that done. All that. Let's see. That was good on that side. On this side, I had to fill in a hole here, and I actually made a patch, a metal patch out of the scrap from the plate. Metal inside. It fell through. I'm gonna have to get it out when I go to next time I flip the frame or something. I'm gonna have to get it out, or lift the front or something, get it to come out one of these holes in the middle. Yeah, I don't want that rattling. And let's see, filled in a little hole here, a little hole here, and back here. Oh yeah, there was a little hole here. I filled those in. I did not fill in yet, like that. There's one on the other side. And I did kind of fix a couple, like right in here, there's a hole, and yeah, there's just a lot of, I think my frame was made on a Friday or something, and they were in a hurry. But anywho, it took me easily 12 hours to weld this. Now that's welding, you know, scattered a few inches at a time, taking 10-minute break, then coming back, welding some more. I wanted to make sure I minimized the warping on the frame. So, all right, it's time. See if we can get these off. Cut the bar loose and see how much, boing! Yeah, see how much it spreads out. It was 52.5 when I welded it in place. Then I put the straps on, one end to the bar, the other up to some body mount locations, and kind of brought it back this way because that side wanted to bow out a little and this side was straight. So I brought it back over, welded everything in. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Yep. I'll shut up now. Okay. Again, I wonder if we can do this. Oh. All right. Easily do this. Oops. Well, that was much ado about nothing. Go on, Sweatbeat. Wow. So I wonder, were they so easy because it moved when I welded? Because I had it on where I pulled it over a good 1/4 inch. Guess we'll find out. Okay, the best way to remove tack welds is with a de-welder. Try to get this where you have a decent angle and can see what happens here. I'm going to cut this one, then I'm going to cut that one. And I am wearing a face shield. No, I don't have the guard. I should have the guard when using a cutting wheel, without question. This is what I do. That doesn't make it right. Don't have your knee against it. It's okay. I busted my head on that so many times, you'd think I'd learn. You know, I should have did that one last. I didn't think that one through. I'm cutting it, which I have to cut it from here. On the off chance that this thing comes up, it's going to nail my hand. Shouldn't. Hope it don't. Woo! Well, it didn't come up. Oh. And guess what? I had it at 52.5. It's got to be really close to 53. Looks like it's about a 1/2 inch. All right, I'm gonna cut the other side off now. I don't anticipate any more dramatics. I don't know what that has on it, so I'm not gonna put sparks into it. Oh man, here. It has been days since I got that welding burn. Yeah. On both sides. Both legs. That is days later. And yeah, they still hurt. It hurts. That was bad. Those are bad burns. Okay, I have this in dead center 53. Oh yeah! Check it out. Dead center 53. See? 53. It's exactly dead center of factory specs. And hopefully, okay, that one looks really straight. How does that one look? That one looks pretty straight. I'm so happy. Squareness. 79 and 7/8. Both directions. Now, obviously I held the tape level there. Next, we had 53 in the middle. It's square. Is it level? Well, let's look right here. Now it's a little tricky to tell on these, you know, because it's not exactly what you really want. Is something setting a, like a 1-inch raise or something on top of the body mount. like a body mount bushing, only my 4-foot level doesn't actually go, so it doesn't matter anyway. So I got as close as I can get it. You'll see it's almost dead center, just slightly to my right, and your right as you're looking at the screen, but that'd be the right side of the engine. Well, frame as well as the engine. And then we look here, guess where it's at? Yeah, exactly. I mean, almost exactly where the front is. And like I said, there's a little, this is not perfect measuring because of the front. And I would love to, let's see, where are these? Now this is interesting. These were placed based upon, you know, putting the frame, bolting the frame in, so it's based on where the floor is. And you can see it's a little off. Let's see, this would need to go up. However, that's where the floor is, so unless it twisted, you probably can't, unless one of these twisted, then it matches where the floor is. Now another little thing to bear in mind, they have spacers, so yours, when you pulled your body mounts out, you may have had spacers. So let's say, for instance, this is actually low. You just put a spacer, basically the big washer, on top of this, and that'll line it up. However, I suspect that this will fit perfectly and that the floor of the car is actually just a touch lower on this side. That is most likely. Frame is ready for epoxy. Okay, the only thing I haven't shown you is the transmission, the cross member plates. And that's because I'm not actually going to put mine in yet, because I'm probably not going to use the stock engine and transmission, well, the ones that were in here. But what I do suggest is to pay attention when you go to take the cross member out. Which bolt was it in? Which hole? Which holes? And so you know the location. And you center this where that is and weld that on. Then this piece, you'll actually cut the ears off of the stock transmission cross member, and you will weld it onto here, one on each end. Then you'll locate where it should go on the plate, drill your holes, put your bolts in, and you're good. So as long as you get the measurements right, you know, if you've done the frame kit so far, that'll be nothing. All right, so the frame is ready for my 600 plus horsepower. So I'm very happy with this kit. It does take work, takes time, but it is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward to install. I am not a fabricator. I'm not. It's not something I normally do. I enjoy it, but I'm not really gifted in that area. So, and I did it, DIYer, first time. So I'm pretty happy with it. The frame, you know, they said, I forget what it is, but it's over 100% stiffer. That means twice, 100% is twice, and it's over twice as stiff as the stock frame. Should be able to handle that 600 plus horsepower, no problem. And the middle of the frame section is all open, so I don't have to worry about exhaust, and I can run my lines along the rails there, you know. So pretty happy there. And the cost, it's a fair price. You know, it's a lot cheaper than some of those others, and it's way cheaper than a whole new custom frame. Yeah, that just wasn't in the budget. And I'd say it was, I'm gonna guess, about 24 hours of work. Now, bear in mind, you know, first time me doing it, and I'm pretty slow, and it was super hot, so I couldn't work more than 4 hours in a day on you know, like a Saturday or something, because it was just so hot. I was exhausted. All right, verse of the video, John 8:31 and 32. So Jesus was saying to those Jews who had believed him, "If you continue in my word, then you are truly disciples of mine, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free." So Jesus is talking to Jews who believed him, and he says, if you continue, it's an action, continue in his word, that would be his teachings. Where do we find Jesus' teachings today? In the Bible, and specifically the New Testament. That's the Christian age. Then you are truly disciples of mine. So if we continue in following Jesus' teachings, follow the New Testament, then we truly are disciples of his. Christians, Christ followers. And you will know the truth. How will we know the truth? Because we're reading the truth in his word. And that truth, God's word, will make you free. And that's free from sin. You won't have that burden of sin on you, and you'll know that come judgment, hey, I'm good. I'm good. All right. I hope this was helpful. If so, please like, comment, subscribe, and God bless.